Shri Sai Satcharitra, Chapter 42, Baba's Passing Away. This chapter describes the passing away of Baba. Preliminary. The stories given in the previous chapter have shown that the light of Guru's grace removes out fear of the mundane existence and opens the path of salvation and turns our misery into happiness. If we always remember the feet of the Sadguru, our troubles come to an end, death loses its sting, and the misery of this mundane existence is obliterated. Therefore, those who care for their welfare should carefully listen to the stories of Sai Samarth, which will purify their minds. In the beginning, Hemat Pant dwells on Mr. Pandit's worship and his marking Baba's forehead with Tripundra, that is, 3 horizontal lines. But as this has been already described in the chapter 11, this has been omitted here. Previous indication. The readers up till now heard the stories of Baba's life. Let them now hear attentively Baba's passing away. Baba got a slight attack of fever on 20th September 1918. The fever lasted for 2 or 3 days, but afterwards Baba gave up his food and thereby he grew weaker and weaker. On the 17th day, that is Tuesday, the 15th October 1918, Baba left his mortal coil at about 2:30 p.m. 2 years before this, that is in 1916, Baba gave an indication of his passing away, but nobody understood it then. It was as follows. On the Vijayadashmi, the Sera day, Baba at once got into a wild rage in the evening when people were returning from Semolingham, crossing the border or limits of the village. Taking off his headdress, kafani and langota, etc., he tore them and threw them in the dhuni before him. Fed by this offering, the fire in the dhuni began to burn brighter and Baba shone still brighter. He stood there, stark naked and with his burning eyes red, shouted, "Fellows, now have a look and decide finally whether I am Muslim or a Hindu." Everybody was trembling with fear and none dared to approach Baba. But after some time, Bhagoji Shinde, the leaper devotee of Baba, went boldly near him and succeeded in tying a longota waistband round his waist and said, "What is all this? Today is Simulanghan, that is the Shera holiday." Baba, striking the ground, did not cool down till 11 p.m., and the people doubted whether the Chavdi procession would ever take place that night. After an hour, Baba resumed his normal condition and, dressing himself as usual, attended the Chavdi procession as described before. By this incident, Baba gave a suggestion that the Shera was the proper time for him to cross the border of life, but no one understood its meaning. Baba gave also another indication as follows. Averting death of Ramachandra and Tatya Patil. Some time after this, Ramachandra Patil became seriously ill. He suffered a lot. He tried all remedies, but finding no relief, despaired of his life and was waiting for the last moment. The one midnight, Baba suddenly stood near his pillow. Patil held his feet and said, "Have lost all hopes of life. Please tell me definitely when I shall die." Merciful Baba said, "Don't be anxious. Your hundi, death warrant, has been withdrawn and you will soon recover, but I am afraid of Tatya Patil. He will pass away on Vijayadashmi of Shaka, 1840. Did not indulge his body to anybody, nor to him, for he will be terribly frightened." Ramachandra Dada got well, but he felt nervous about Tatya's life, for he knew that Baba's word was unalterable and that Tatya would breathe his last within 2 years. He kept this hint secret, told it to none but one Bala Shimpi, a tailor. Only these two persons, Ramachandra Dada and Bala Shimpi, were in fear and suspense regarding Tatya's Patil. Ramachandra Dada soon left his bed and was on his legs. Time passed quickly. The month of Bhadrapad of Shaka, 1840, was ending and Ashwin was in sight. True to Baba's word, Tatya fell sick and was bedridden, and so he could not come for Baba's darshana. Baba was also down with fever. Tatya had full faith in Baba and Baba in Lord Hari, who was his protector. Tatya's illness began to grow from bad to worse, and he could not move at all but always remembered Baba. The predicament of Baba began to grow equally worse. The day predicted, that is Vijayadashmi, was impending, and both Ramachandra Dada and Bala Shimbi were terribly frightened about Tatya, and with their bodies trembling and perspiring with fear, thought that as predicted by Baba, Tatya's end was nigh. Vijayadashmi dawned, and Tatya's pulse began to beat very slow, and he was expected to pass away shortly. And Baba passed away in his stead. It seemed as if there was an exchange. People said that Baba gave up his life for Tatya. Why did he so? He alone knows, as his ways are inscrutable. It seems, however, that this incident Baba gave a hint of his passing away, substituting Tatya's name for his own. Next morning, 16th October, Baba appeared to Dasganu at Pandharpur in his dream and said to him, Masjid collapsed. All the oilmen and grocers of Shirdi teased me a lot, so I leave the place. I therefore come to inform you here. Please go there quickly and cover me with bhakkal flowers. Dasganu got the information and also from Shirdi letters. So he came to Shirdi with his disciples and started bhajan and kirtan and sang the Lord's name all through the day before Baba's samadhi. Himself weaving a beautiful garden of flowers, studded with Lord Hari's name, he placed it on Baba's samadhi and gave a mass feeding in Baba's name. Charity to Laxmibai. Dashera or Vijay Lakshmi is regarded by all Hindus as most auspicious time, and it is befitting that Baba should choose his time for his crossing the borderline. He was ailing some days before this, but he was ever conscious internally. Just before the last moment, he sat up erect without anybody's aid and looked better. People thought that the danger had passed off and he was getting well. He knew that he was to pass away soon, and therefore he wanted to give some money as charity to Laxmibai Shinde. Baba pervading all creatures. This Laxmibai Shinde was a good and well-to-do woman. She was working in the masjid day and night. Except Bhagat Malspati, Tatya and Laxmibai, none was allowed to step in the masjid at night. Once while Baba was sitting in the masjid and Tatya in the evening, Laxmibai came and saluted Baba. The latter said to her, "O Lakshmi, I am very hungry." Off she went, saying, "Wait a bit, I return immediately with bread." She did return with bread and vegetables and placed them before Baba. He took it up and gave it to a dog. Laxmibai then asked, "Is this, Baba?" I ran in haste, prepared bread with my own hands for you, and you threw it to a dog without eating a morsel of it. You gave me trouble unnecessarily. Baba replied, "Do you grieve for nothing? The appeasement of the dog's hunger is the same as mine. The dog has got a soul. The creatures may be different, but the hunger of all is the same, though some speak and others are dumb. Know for certain that he who feeds the hungry really serves me with food. Regard this as an axiomatic truth." This is an ordinary incident, but Baba thereby propounded a great spiritual truth and showed its practical application in daily life without hurting anybody's feelings. From this time onward, Laxmibai began to offer him daily bread and milk with love and devotion. Baba accepted and ate it appreciatingly. He took a part of this and sent the remainder with Laxmibai to Radha Krishna Mai, who always relished and ate Baba's remnant prasad. This bread story should not be considered as a digression. It shows how Sai Baba pervaded all the creatures and transcended them. He is omnipresent, birthless, deathless, and immortal. Baba remembered Laxmibai's service. How could he forget her? Just before leaving the body, he put his hand in his pocket and gave her once rupees 5 and again rupees 4, in all rupees 9. This figure 9 is indicative of the 9 types of devotion described in chapter 21, or it may be the dakshina offered at the time of Simulanghan. Laxmibai was a well-to-do woman, and so she was not in want of any money. So Baba might have suggested to her and brought prominently to her the notice of the 9 characteristics of a good disciple mentioned in the 6th verse of chapter 10, Skanda 11 of the Bhagavad, wherein first 5 and then 4 characteristics are mentioned in the first and second couplets. Baba followed the order. First paid rupees 5 and then 4, in all rupees 9. Not only 9, but many times 9 rupees passed through Laxmibai's hand, but Baba's gift of 9 she will ever remember. Being so watchful and conscious, Baba also took other precautions in his last moment. In order that he should not be embroiled or entangled with love and affections of his devotees, he ordered them to all clear off. Kaka Sahib Dikshit, Babu Sahib Booty, and others were in the masjid anxiously waiting upon Baba. But he asked them to go to the Vada and return after meals. They could not leave Baba's presence, nor they could disobey him. So with heavy hearts and heavy feet they went to the Vada. They knew that Baba's case was very serious and that they could not forget him. They sat for meals, but their mind was elsewhere. It was with Baba. Before they finished, news came to them of Baba's leaving the mortal coil. Leaving their dishes, they ran to the masjid and found that Baba rested finally on Bayaji's lap. He did not fall down on the ground, nor did he die on his bed, but sitting quietly on his seat and doing charity with his own hand, threw off the mortal coil. Saints embody themselves and come into this world with a definite mission, and after that is fulfilled, they pass away as quietly and easily as they came. Bow to Shri Sai. Peace be to all.